The UB men's and women's basketball teams are both MAC East Division champions. We'll show you how they got there, and the coaches will tell us how they got there. Plus, we'll take an amazing journey to his native Nigeria with Bulls center Akena Smart. It's the Division Championship edition of UB Basketball Insider, and we get it started right now.
You will take it!
We didn't give up. We kept fighting.
Every single possession!
We just got to figure out a way to win a game.
Basketball fans, on your feet. Here come your Bulls.
Stolen by Massenberg, dunked for the right hand. Flashy no-look pass over to Summer Hemphill.
Wilkins three, good.
McRae the follow dunk. Sensational move from the freshman.
And we get it started with Bulls men's basketball coach Nate Oates. Big one coming up later today, part of a doubleheader. Nate's team takes on Ohio. That'll tip off at 3:30. But, Nate, let's go back to the Friday game against Bowling Green here, another big crowd. And the significance of that was a big moment for you and your team. Clinching the MAC East title, always a goal for you way back in August, September, October, whenever you set those things. How satisfying was to have that moment come to fruition?
Yeah, it was nice to clinch it at least that early, I think the last time we won it took us all the way to the very end of the season. So, that's good, but that early is a very minor, small goal. We really want to get the 1 seed, so we got the best chance to win the tournament. That's, winning the overall MAC be a lot more important than just the MAC East. So we're still 1 game ahead of Toledo. They're right on our heels just like they've been all season. Ball State's playing great so that they would have a chance. We just got to take care of business here these last 3 games, try to win the whole MAC, and then get ourselves rolling for the tournament.
Yeah, and by nature of the win over Toledo, you really have a little more than a 1-game lead, so you're in the driver's seat, your team is, in order to clinch that, and the next 2 chances for your team to do that, again, come up later today, part of the doubleheader with the women's team. You got the Ohio Bobcats coming in here. You played them on the 26th of January, beat them by 7 points. What do you remember about that game?
You know what? The offense wasn't great. Ikena played great. That was the best game Ikena's ever played. I know his wife's living down in North Carolina, and Jill surprised him, showed up. He didn't know that was the closest game for her, and so I think she drove up and surprised him. I told her she needs to surprise him a little more often. But he played great. Our offense overall wasn't very good. I think we had a long stretch of 80-plus points, and that was the one that broke it. They had a pretty good game plan. They slowed it down on us, tried to make it a lot lower possession game, and we did enough to win, but I wasn't that happy with our offensive performance down there.
Yeah, Akena Smart had 10 points and 14 rebounds, first career double-double in that game for him. The Bobcats overall are 12-15. They're 5-10 in the MAC. They have won 2 games in a row. Beat Kent State by 12 points in their last game earlier in the week. A lot of good guard play coming from guys like Kirk and Dardis and Laster.
Yeah, I mean, they've got really good. And, Taylor is a big kid inside. He's a big, strong kid, but a lot of their scoring comes from the freshman Kirk, and then Laster's a senior from Detroit that we actually recruited here and had on visit here. But, they've got some perimeter players that can really shoot it. Block had an injury. We're not sure if he's going to start, play, whatever. But if he doesn't start and they start Gollin instead of him, their 1 through 4 is all shooting over 40% from 3. In conference play, so they've been shooting the ball pretty well here lately too.
All right, that's something to keep an eye on for today's game against the Bobcats. And then you're back home again on Tuesday against Akron for the home finale, which means senior night, which means you get that emotional moment of having to, in your case, finally say goodbye to Wes Clark, a guy you've been around for an awful long part of your life and his.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Wes is our only 4-year senior, but I think we're going to honor Ikena just because he's going to graduate this year, and we're there's a good chance he's not going to come back to play his 4th year here just with his wife living down in North Carolina and stuff. So I think we'll honor the 2 of those. And then, obviously it'll be a big deal. Ikena's been here 4 years now, played in the MAC tournament or won a MAC championship with us. We won it twice. He was redshirt in the first year. And, just like you said with Wes, it's not going on 9 years now with 4 years of high school, and this is 5th year college. So that'll be a good night for us.
It's unusual. I mean, it's an unusual situation that you would be coaching a guy you coached as a high school coach also in college. I don't know how many other coach-player relationships go back that far in any of college basketball.
That's a little interesting. You'd have to have a high school coach get a head Division I job pretty quickly after he left high school to have it happen, so that it probably doesn't happen too much. But it's nice. I think he's been great for us this year. You know, he's really stepped up. He gave us some solid guard play. Kind of gave us, you know, a year. Devontae can get a year older. We got some guys coming in next year, and so hopefully we can keep this thing rolling. Hopefully we get a big win on senior night.
Right. Well, as you talked about, the goal now is to clinch the overall #1 seed in the MAC, and you've got a couple of chances. What do you want to see out of your team for these final 3 games to have them exactly ready for the MAC tournament in Cleveland?
You know, our offense has been flowing pretty well when we don't turn it over, so our turnovers have to be down. We're going to play Wes a lot more at the 1. We've been letting him play off the ball, and we're going to move him over to play almost exclusively at the 1. So hopefully that'll get our turnovers come down. And then defensively, our energy's got to be great. We seem to have taken a step back on the defensive side of things, so we just got to get our defensive energy back. Stops, running off our stops, rebound the ball. If we can do that, we can get this thing flowing where we won those 8 games in a row and started the thing out 8-0.
All right, it all begins on getting those goals done today. 3:30 tip-off for Nate's team against the Ohio Bobcats, part of a doubleheader with the women's team that begins at 1 o'clock. Nate, thanks for the time.
Thanks, appreciate it, Paul.
Coming up, the UB women's basketball team has clinched the MAC East Division. We'll talk with UB women's basketball coach Felicia Legette-Jack when UB Basketball Insider returns. Buffalo sports fans, get to Alumni Arena on Tuesday, February 27th as the UB men's basketball team is set to host MAC rival Akron. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. It's the final regular season home game and your last chance to catch the Bulls in action before they head to the postseason. You won't want to miss the action. Get your tickets today and let's make Alumni Arena loud. To order, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by CEFCU, changing lives every day.
And it's time to talk a little women's basketball as we welcome in the coach of the Mid-American Conference East Division champions, Felicia Legette-Jack. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
It really does, but knowing how much I have help, with the players and my assistant coaches, it takes a village.
Yes, it does. We know that it does. The clincher for the MAC East title came on Wednesday night, an 88-67 win over the Bowling Green Falcons on the road. Another amazing game for Cassie Ausler, another double-double, 20 points and 12 rebounds. Sum up that game for me and then sum up what it was like, whether there was a little bit of spirit afterwards knowing that you'd reached one of those big goals.
Well, Cassie saw again that she was the superior post player in that particular game. This young lady that she went against is only a freshman, big kid, strong, but Cassie, a fifth-year senior, needed to show her dominance, and that's the word we used for her again. It was dominate, and she did it from the low post. She did it from the free throw line. She ran the floor like a deer. I just was so in awe of Cassie's 24 minutes, 20 points, and 13 rebounds. I'm just really excited about how good she can become. And so we did it from the inside, then the outside was easy. Went 4 for 6 in the first half from the three-point line because Cassie was so dominant on the inside.
Yeah, the reigning MAC East Player of the Week, Cassie Ausler, has just been on this amazing roll that she will look to continue today. It's a doubleheader for Felicia's women's team, 1 o'clock against Ohio. The men play at 3:30 against the Bobcats. You beat the Bobcats back in mid-January. It was a close game, 67-63. They appear to have gotten a lot better since then. What are you anticipating from Ohio in today's game?
They have a special player, Hooks, who's a thief. I think she's a leading steals person in our conference. If you mess around with that ball in front of her, she's going to take it from you. And they got so many great shooters, and they have such a weird offense. It's a cluster that disperses, and you don't know where they're going. It's a rhythm to them, but it looks crazy to us. And we just got to keep them in front of us, and we have to really make them drive the ball to score and not drive the ball to pitch it to the three-point line. If we can minimize their three-point makes, I think we're going to have a good chance.
Yeah, they shoot a lot of three-pointers.
Yes, they do.
They're among the most team in the MAC that does the most of that.
Arguably in the country.
When you go into a game like that knowing that that's what a team does, how do you have to change and adjust what you would normally do on defense?
We've been getting away from our matchup zone because so many players in our conference now are shooting the ball so well that we can't give them a second. Even at our last game against Bowling Green, we went to a zone one possession and they shot a three and it was a wide open shot and went in and it came out. I'm like, we have to kind of match up and we have to kind of, switch a lot too. And our posts are so quick now. Summer Hemphill and Mariah Suchin, they're very fast. And so we can switch them on guards and keep them in front of us. So we're going to try to do a little switching, a lot of blitzing, which is a trap situation to keep them off kilter.
I know you've got some games, including the one today, to think about, but in a week, you're going to have a very emotional moment at Senior Day, which is going to be very hard, I know, for you, maybe even harder than it will be for some of the seniors that you have to say goodbye to.
Yeah, I think the seniors are going to struggle a little bit too because we grew up together. I came from a broken place when I came here, and those guys said yes to me when I was at my most broken, and they helped heal me, and I helped grow them, and we became a family. And it's a touching situation. And I never had a class that really went all the way to the end with me like this in my entire career. These young ladies are always going to hold a dear part in my heart. They all were really, really special in their own way. Stephanie Reed is the most important, in my opinion, when it comes to the ball part of it because of what she's done on the court in the last 3.5 years. And the twins are special and what they did academically for our place here. Mariah Suchin is an amazing student athlete. And then you got this kid that transfers over from who's a hometown product, and Cassie Ausler and Cassandra Ausler, her professional legal name. I don't know how we're going to respond on that day, but I certainly know it's going to be a tough one.
Well, we do know that this has been an amazing season, and it's going to continue to be an amazing season. There's no better way to say goodbye to your seniors. Here you are, 13 wins already in the MAC, which is the most the school has ever had. You're 1 win shy from the school record of wins overall in a season at 22. What do you want to accomplish for this final stretch of regular season games to make sure this team does what I know it can do at the MAC tournament in Cleveland?
Just one word: more. We just want more from them. I want them to be so authentically into who they are as individuals, but also as a team, to know that they belong somewhere in the lights. And if they give everything they have, and the other team gives it what they have, I think that we're a really good team. I said that from June, and I think that we can really bring more to this table. And I just don't want it to end for a lot of reasons. One, because we're a good team, and two, I have 5 seniors that I don't want to say goodbye to.
Yeah, well, it all starts today for the Bulls as they go for 7 wins in a row, part of a doubleheader with the men's team. It tips off for Felicia's team at 1 o'clock against the Ohio Bobcats. The men take on OU at 3:30. We'll look forward to seeing you later today. As always, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the division championship.
Thank you so much for all you do.
Coming up, we take a trip to Nigeria with Bulls forward Ikenna Smart, where he's doing important humanitarian work in his home country. That's next on UB Basketball Insider.
Welcome back to UB Basketball Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
Welcome back to the UB Basketball Insider Show. My name is Paul Peck. Big doubleheader here today at Alumni Arena. The women take on Ohio at 1, and then the men face the Bobcats at 3:30. Men's starting center Ikenna Smart has had an amazing journey from Nigeria to Buffalo. A lot of challenges along the way, including finding size 17 basketball sneakers. Well, Ikenna put his mind to fixing that problem and helping the next generation of Nigerians make it in the sport of basketball.
Hi, my name is Ikenna Smart. I'm on the UB men's basketball team. This is my junior year. I haven't been home for 6 years, so I've been gone, haven't seen my biological parents, my, siblings. I was nervous at first going home because, 6 years is a long time. A lot of things can change. I think overall it was a great experience. I got to see my family. I spent so much time with my family while I was down there. My mom's side of the family came, and I saw some of my dad's side of the family, my niece, my cousins, a lot of people came and visited me in my house. I have a passion to, to help kids down there because I was able to have the opportunity to come here to, to get education and also to play basketball. For me, just going there and encouraging kids and letting them know, like, you can still make it from here. You know, if it's your dream, keep chasing it. Don't get down. Don't think it's not possible. It's possible. So me going down there and, you know, helping them out, you know, talking to them and giving them some shoes. I collected some shoes from my teammate. We had about 4 boxes of shoes. Tom McManus, one of the donors here, he helped me with the shipping. I don't know what I can say, but I'm really, really happy. I'm glad that he did, and I thank him so much, and I pray that God continue to provide for him and his family and keep him healthy. I mean, that was a big help. We all played 5-on-5, up and down, and after the scrimmage, you know, we had a little talk. So I talked to them. My brother spoke to them, and then we gave them the shoes. It's beautiful, you know. You don't see these shoes hanging on the market a lot in Nigeria. They are very, very hard to find. The shoes that I dumped there, it's gonna make a big difference in their basketball career and the way they play and the way they run and the way they jump. And I told them there's more where this came from, you know, it's just a matter of time. I wasn't expecting to see girls come to my clinic, but when I got down there, I saw about 5 to 6 girls who came in. I think it's a big improvement for Nigeria. Try to have, you know, encourage female basketball. Tessa, she's from Nigeria and she's on the girls basketball team. You know, I'm looking to see in the future maybe she and I can do something like that. She can help me out on the girls' side and collect some shoes, and I can arrange from the boys' side, and we can. Next time I do stuff like that, I can involve girls back in Nigeria. Nigeria is still a third world country. It's still developing. You know, a lot of stuff that we have here that, you know, US have, it's not there. Like technology is still low. You know, it's kind of like eye-opening again. You know, I've been here for 6 years. You know, it's a long time. You can tend to forget about a few things down there. But going back there and seeing how everything is again kind of motivated me to work harder and, you know, chase my dream and have, you know, good passion for life and work hard.
What a great young man Ikenna is to do what he has done, not only to help your program, but to help the people back in Nigeria by going through all the effort to do that. How much do you admire what he's been able to do?
I mean, he's a kid that since he's been in here, and our culture's come a long, long ways, and he's helped that culture come a long ways, but he's always been super appreciative of what he has here. Obviously, we even just talked about it last week. They kind of went around and said why they play, and he talked about his home life back home and how, you know, how much less privilege it is back home. So he had been collecting those shoes. I thought that was a great thing when guys would throw shoes away and he's like, no, I can use those back home. So I thought that was great. He's just always thinking of others back home, even here. I mean, he's just a kid that grew up with a lot less than what most of our kids grew up with here, appreciates what the scholarship, the education, everything he gets here outside of just basketball. So he's a great kid to have in a program just for multiple reasons.
And I don't know that we all appreciate what he had to go through to be able to do that. That's a big step that any foreign player takes, to leave everything that they know and their family to come to a strange country and get dropped into the world of college basketball.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go through the whole story, it wasn't all that, you know, it's not all roses. He's got a great family now that looks after him, but it started a little shaky, and he'll kind of tell you, like in a hotel room with what wasn't the best start to his, you know, but then I think it went 6 years before he was able to go back home. So you think a kid, like a high school kid at that age, coming over here and for 6 straight years not being able to see your family, and he's been fortunate. He's got a great family in North Carolina that's kind of adopted him in and really has taken care of him, but to not see your blood family for 6 years is a long time. So he's been through quite a bit.
Yeah, well, he's got a great Buffalo family, and that Buffalo family has a chance to really make him feel good by being at today's game and then on Tuesday against Akron, it's senior night. Great story, a terrific kid, and we've enjoyed watching him over the years here, and I know you have too. Nate, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Coming up, it's championship season, and we'll check in with all the Bulls teams competing for titles. That's next on UB Basketball Insider.
For nearly 100 years, ECMC has brought hope and healing to Western New York. I'm living proof, and I couldn't be more grateful. Like cancer, we all hope trauma will never happen to us. But when it does, we can rely on ECMC to always be there. I hope you join me to be there for them and help them build their new state-of-the-art trauma center and emergency department. Visit supportecmctrauma.org to help learn how you can support life-saving care.
This is UB Basketball Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
Welcome back to the UB Basketball Insider Show. My name is Paul Peck, outside the locker rooms here at Alumni Arena. Let's take a look at all the other good stuff going on throughout campus, including here at the Big A. The MAC Women's Swimming and Diving Championships conclude today as the Bulls look to turn their undefeated regular season into a potential team title. And UB's indoor track and field squad faces the final day of events at their 2018 championships. Make sure you check ubbulls.com for all the latest results in both those sports. The Bulls will hit the mats in Mount Pleasant, Michigan next week for the MAC Wrestling Championships. Heavyweight Jake Gunning will look to defend his 2017 title, while 15th-ranked 133-pounder Brian Lantry will have his sights set on the top of the podium, too. The action begins March 3rd and concludes on March 4th. UB Tennis is back, and expectations are high as both teams are preseason favorites to repeat their MAC titles. The men's squad is off to a solid start with wins over UConn, Army, and St. John's. And not to be outdone, the women have won 3 of their first 4 matches in the early season goings. And last but certainly not least, the Winter months haven't slowed the progress on the new UB Fieldhouse. For a live stream of the construction and important information on all of the project specs, visit ubbulls.com/fieldhouse. Well, that'll do it for this division championship edition of the UB Basketball Insider Show. Doubleheader today. The women take on the Ohio Bobcats here at Alumni Arena. That tips off at 1, and then the men come back and play OU at 3:30. Lots of good stuff going on as both teams get themselves ready to go win a MAC championship in Cleveland. We'll see you next week on UB Basketball Insider.